All right, all right. Welcome to the session live, Bible, Beats, and Bars. So I'm your host. You already know we do this every Saturday, and then we also make sure that it's available for you to check out if you're on travel, because a lot of you all, we appreciate your time and your attention. So every Monday evening, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, we do this as well. But I'm your host, Frederick Whitlow II, a.k.a. most people refer to me as Minister Fred, too, because I'm that guy on boots on the ground. Listen, today's show. Oh man, listen, I had to kind of get jazzed up just to hang out with these ladies, man. Let me tell you something about these two queens. When you think about the comeback, and that's the word I'm gonna start with, the comeback. Professor, let's do comeback. That's gonna be the word we're gonna use for today. The comeback. But our special guest today, and listen, when they're gonna be on our radio show. Listen, it was so good. We was like, you need to stay a couple weeks. I'm just saying. But after you hear this video by Kiera the Light featuring Kid Lee called I Am Not the Same, you're gonna experience something that has just blew all of us away here at No More Dirty. How to become an overcomer when life is lifing. Listen, I know you know what I'm talking about. You get up one day, your hip go out. You get up one day, and then all of a sudden there's a downsizing going on. You get up one day, and you find out something terrible has happened to your family. You get up one day, and someone didn't wake up. Listen, life is always happening, but there is hope. And these two ladies, and as we talk about this order, this organization, look, there's an empty seat here, there's an empty seat. But when we come back from this video, it's going to be amazing. So thanks again for tuning in. You know I do this every week. I want you to, before the end of this music video that you're about to see, and it's deep, I want you to make sure you share this link with at least 7 people. Not 4, not 5, not 6, 7. For perfection, for completion. And then we're going to talk about the number 8 as we deal. So here it is. You already know Kiera the Light featuring Kid Lee. I am not. You are not. We are not the same. We'll be right back.
Forgiven for the souls. Yeah, I gotta look up at God if I wanna learn survival. If I wanna get in the kingdom, I gotta let go of my idols. If I'ma defeat all the demons, then I gotta open the Bible. And if I wanna walk in the purpose, then I gotta know my title. I gotta know. I gotta know what it is. My flesh is getting exposed by leaving it open again. If I don't confess my wrongs, it feel like I'm holding it in. So before I put it in a song, I'm handing it over to him. I gotta hand it over. Hand it over. But how can I hand it over if I'm not sober? Man. But how can I hand it over if I don't show him? Man. But how can I hand it over if I don't know him? I don't know. I've been a slave. Devil tried to lock me in them chains. When I quit, he tell me go do it again. But I am not the same. I am not the same.
Your Honor, based on this evidence that I presented to you today, the defendant is clearly guilty. He has not changed. He is the same person that he was.
Devil tried to lock me in them chains.
And he deserves death.
I am not. When I quit, he tell me go do it again. I am not the same.
From the leg of my father, crawling to him like a Carla boy. Devil told me cut the nonsense, boy. Had it once, but then he lost the boy. Word of God, get the chopping sword. Devil double edged, slice it back and forth. Bottom up, they don't relax, of course. Holy Spirit in my vocal cords. Every day my God fought me up, tell me go to my Bible. Okay, working on me inside and out, now he gave me a title. Let's go, evangelizing to the lost souls, tell them thought they idle. Let's go, shaking hell up, kingdom of God coming forth for revival. All great if the world don't like me. I feel on fire for my Lord, now the devil traps beside me. I keep on skipping up for sure, I keep on moving through the storms. They be snooping, but it's joy. Jesus, he gave me a voice, and I can't lose it in this war. I am not the same. Enemy trying to tell me that I'm still bound. Holy Spirit, he be speaking to me, so the evil ain't real loud. Choose a peace, walk a narrow path, man, I feel like that's real stuff. Childlike faith, woman of God with the faith of a real child.
I am not the same. I've been a slave. I am no. Devil tried to lock me in them chains. I am not. When I quit, he tell me go do it again. I am not the same.
I am not the same. I am not the same. I am not the same.
I am not.
I am not the same. 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 I am not the same.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to the session live. Ladies, what did you think about that video? What did you think about that video, Patty?
I thought that was incredible. I loved it. Loved it.
What about you, Carla?
It was nice.
It was. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I want to introduce you to Patty Sykstus and also Carla Bugg, right?
Bugg.
Bugg, I got it. Listen. I'm excited about this show, ladies. Couple real reasons why. When you speak about the name, and I'm gonna tell you up front the name of the organization, Not One More Alabama.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about that. Not One More Alabama. I have had the opportunity throughout my travels to reach so many people that have been impacted by life and choices, and it ends up being a negative experience. So we're going to talk about this, folks. But before we do, we do this all the time. 3 fun facts. I want y'all to give me 3 fun facts because they got to know how. Listen, we've been kicking it. I hung out with them a few days ago before we got to this place. I've been knowing her for a minute. She just be rolling that she bad sister here. And then I know our nephew, Travis. Shout out to Travis, man. You know what I mean? So listen, y'all got to know how cool and how normal they are before we get into this topic because it's really about the power to believe and to become. All right. So who wants to go first? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
So some fun facts about me number one, I like plants. I found out I have a green thumb.
Oh
So
my.
I love fooling around with plants and watching them grow and everything.
So you like be in the garden, like really be digging in there and creating
Yes.
and been doing all that cool stuff.
Yes.
You like the worms and all that kind of stuff?
No.
Okay, so yeah,
I get the plants like from Publix and places like that.
all right, bet that. Okay, number 2.
Number 2 is I like to sing.
Like, wait a minute, you sing?
I sing a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, what's your favorite genre or your different flavors?
It would be I go back to the old hymnals.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, you may have to give us a tune, bust a tune
Yeah,
for
I'll do
just
that.
sometime
Okay.
between now and then, because I'm
Okay.
I remix hymns and hook and all of that.
Okay.
All right, 3.
3 off the cuff. I love bull riding. Watching. I like to watch it. I don't do it. I like to watch.
No. How did you get into falling in love or enjoying bull riding? Did you go to a show? What was it?
Well,
How
I
was it before?
started watching it on YouTube, and so when I found out that hey, these people, I think I like the fact that when they get knocked off the bull, they get back up.
Wow. Okay, I get you. I'm feeling you. All right, Patty, what's going on?
All right. Let's see.
Number 1.
Number one. I love love office supplies. Like, not just normal liking of office supplies. Like, everybody likes office supplies, but I love, like, if I had an extra 15 minutes, I'm gonna go to Staples and walk around for a little while and
You,
just see
wait.
what's new out in the world of office
So what you're
supplies.
saying is you would rather go to Office Depot or Staples instead of going to the mall?
Anywhere, pretty much.
Anywhere?
Oh
Mhm.
my.
For the most part.
Professor.
No, when I was a kid, when we'd go to the grocery store, my mom would drop me off in the stationery aisle, and I would just sit there the whole time that she shopped and just look at, like, the tablets and the staplers and the pens and
Wow.
pencils, and
So
would add carbon paper. That made it even better, like, to write
really?
things and yeah,
Oh
good, it's
my.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, number 2.
Alright, number 2,
That's a
let's
good
see.
one. That's a good
Yeah,
one. I've
you know.
never Staples. Over
Yeah,
there.
it's different. Let's see, number 2, I taught middle school, 7th grade home ec 1 year.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
And I started the day before school started.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's kind of close.
Yeah. They needed somebody, and they asked me, and so we kinda sat down and talked about it and decided that it'd either be the year that I found what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, or it's gonna be the year we all laugh and talk about the year I taught middle school home ec, and that was the second. But it
All
was
right.
a blast. It was fun. I liked
All
it.
right. And 3. Fun fact 3.
Fun fact 3, I have had, 5 step-parents and 17 step-siblings.
Wow.
Yeah.
5 and 17.
Yeah, not everybody.
Yo, that's that's unique and it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So you can go pretty much anywhere.
and have some family somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what's up. So, all right. So now you got it. Now you know they're definitely human. They're not robots. This is not an AI simulated show here. This is a real one. You already know. All right. So with that being said, do you have a favorite quote that you live by or that you appreciate? Let's start here, and then I'm gonna come back to you because I definitely had a really great conversation, and I'm very intentional about that question. All right,
Okay. Yes,
favorite
I
quote.
do have one favorite quote, and it's something that I do live by, and that is rejection is God's direction
Hmm.
and my protection.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
Okay, you gotta give us the 411 on that. Direction.
Rejection,
Rejection is
God's direction,
and
my protection.
all right, break it down. You got to talk to the folk. You got to tell them
Okay.
why that is and what that means to you. But somebody is going to say, "Listen, I need to adopt that."
Well, believe it or not, I got that. I heard that in my spirit one day. As I was incarcerated, and while incarcerated, I got moved from one job to another job that I didn't want to move to.
Right.
And years later, I found out that the job that they moved me from, that I was only in for one day, I found out that that job, the inmates and the staff members there were infested by black mold.
Wow.
And immediately when I found that out, I
Wow.
heard in my spirit, rejection is God's direction
Mm.
and your protection.
So he protected you, even though it seemed like you were the odd person out,
Yes,
and even though it seemed like, even though it was rejection
yes,
from a personal perspective, but it was God's really His protecting you from
yes.
something that usually kills because it works within, inside out.
And I
once you
live
get
by that now.
yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful. Patty, quote that you believe in, stand on, and live by.
There's so many of them. I mean, there's just, there's a lot of things that speak to me for sure, but, um, there's one by Albert Einstein that I particularly like that essentially says, I'm not gonna quote this exactly, I'm sure, but something to the effect that a life, serving others is a life worthwhile.
That's it.
And I that just kinda speaks to my heart. I mean, I feel like at 60 years old, which I'm fortunate enough to get to this point that, a lot of stuff happens that's just not important, but being there
Right.
and showing up for other people in whatever way that looks like, to me, feels like a life that's worthwhile, and so I try to just, keep that in my mind.
All right. So I want to ask one more question of you all, and then we're gonna dig in We're gonna do a music video, but we're gonna dig into this, not this amazing organization. So what are you most passionate about in this now moment, Carla? What are you most passionate about? Now we're gonna talk about the amazingness about your organization that you're both a part of, but what are you most passionate about personally and professionally?
Well, professionally and personally, I am most passionate about empowering people
Okay.
to watch their life
Mm,
transform. I
wow.
love antiques and I love things that people throw away, and I like to see you know I like to redo. And so, with that being said, it's also that also pertains to watching a person's life go from one extreme to another. So, if I can be a part of that, that's a passion that I have.
Love it. All right, Patty.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably why Carla and I are up here together, is that I would say pretty much in the same vein that, being able to just play some part in watching somebody's life change has been just an incredible privilege for me, an incredible gift to get to be a part of. I would definitely say a passion would be just being a part of this whole concept of recovery and just being able to play the little piece that I've been able to play in it and be able to witness and observe lives transform. It's definitely that.
So, if I had to ask you to describe yourself, that young Patty, who would Patty be in that moment growing up? Because obviously there was a master plan as a young person to getting to this point 60 years later. And the same thing with you, Carla. Who is Carla, that little Carla that was just running around? Where you from? What made you tick? And then we're gonna go to the video. We're gonna come back and get in. All right. Let's start you with Patty.
All right, that one's pretty easy for me because I think that as a young I feel like I'm in therapy. That sounds like
Is
something a
it-
therapist should ask. It does. Um, I feel like as a young person, I just kind of floated through life, just whatever presented that day is what I did, and I don't think I did things very intentionally. I don't think I put a lot of thought to things, which is not a great way to operate, but it's just kind of what I did. Um, but back in 2014, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow.
And it was an aggressive type of breast cancer, and I'm fortunate to be here 10 years later, being able to talk about it. And that was a really pivotal moment for me. And I made a promise to my creator that if I got to continue traveling along in this life, that I would make my days count for something. So my days of
Wow.
unintentional floating around had to come to an end, and I had to
Wow.
be more intentional with how I used my time. And at the same time, I had a son who struggled with addiction and found himself in a situation where he was able to go down his path of recovery, and I got to witness that and be a part of it in my own way as a family member. And so through that, I found my spot. So it wasn't
Yeah.
wearing pink tutus and running around doing things for breast cancer. I mean, nothing against that. I mean, kudos to the people that do, and we need every one of them. But it wasn't where I found my place. Where I found my place was in the world of recovery and
Wow.
treatment and recovery. And so I just try to be as intentional with that and make my days count.
I love that. Carla, why don't you share? And I'm gonna ask before you do that to go ahead and cue up. AI has a song called "Perilous," and I think it's very fitting for what I'm hearing and what our viewers and our listeners are watching and hearing at this moment. Carla, for you.
Well, for me, um, even though I was in the limelight, in high school as a cheerleader, I didn't know who I was.
Wow.
I had no identity within myself. And I find it so weird that people from that era gave me or give me uh, a definition of who I was back then that has nothing to do with who I thought I was.
Wow. So let's go to this song. AI Anomaly has a song. She's an amazing poet. Actually, she is the poet extraordinaire per prole for the city of Buffalo, New York. But she's also an MC, and she's just amazing. And she has a song that she wrote and a video, and it's called Perilous. I want you to check it out. And I think it's very fitting when we talk about lifing and recovery. We'll be right back. You're tuned into the session live with my special guests, Carla and Patty. We'll be right back. Professor, let's do it, man.
And there's those days where everything's okay. Then there's those days where everything. I got questions, those will never be answered. I stay restless. What if you love me enough to give up the lust, the dust? White lines trapping that crust, the rock, bumbling, rumbling room, smoking that pipe, off in that room, psychosis high, emotions rise. Ever just look in my eyes, desire to die to addiction, the affliction of an empty heart, mesmerized by lines. I was your seed, and you carried me, but deep, you buried me underneath the dreaded scenes. You would never leave. And there's those days where everything's okay. Then there's those days where everything's dark. Looking for hope in the room where there's no heart. Hard hatred is the fragrance of this art. Why? The brushes that they paint with dipped in sharp needles, they were evil from the start. They tricked me with their fake face. Now I'm looking to vacate to a safe place where no hate stay. Just separate from that bitter taste of that past life of that midnight. I'm overflowing with tears like, what do I do with the years like? What do I do with my fears? I'm drifting off in this space, lifting off of this weight. I'm so burdened by my purpose. I'm just yearning for some inner peace. Gripping hold to faith, and I'm hurting. Is it worth it? Feeling weaker by the days. My voice crying your temple, and the earth shaking it tremble. And just then I remember the same God that helped David is the same God that I bang with. I'ma hang in the pressure, I'm letting it go. So Satan, he not in control. Jehovah, I know he'll never be letting me low. And there's those days where everything's okay. Then there's those days where everything's.
Ooh-wee. Welcome back to the session live. I'm here with Patty and I'm here with Carla. So listen, we got to talk about this amazing organization, Not One More Alabama. Now, I want to gear these two questions to you, and you're welcome to chime in. But let's talk about the origins of this organization, Not One More Alabama. Talk to the folk about that, and then we'll move on from there.
Okay, so Not One More Alabama was formed in 2016, November of 2016.
Uh-huh.
And really how it came about was a couple of moms, a couple of
Okay.
people who had
Okay.
had kind of a lived experience with their own family members struggling with substance use, and just having conversation and saying, sharing information and sharing knowledge and sharing understanding of the situation, and it kind of became really evident that we knew a lot. We knew a lot because of the path we went on, and we had kind of a crossroads where we could just take that information, go home, and do nothing with it.
Right.
Or we could go and try to figure out how to take what we learned, build on that, grow with that, and share it with the next person who's out there struggling. And so that's what we chose to do.
Mm.
So we actually connected in with a national organization called Not One More, based out of California,
Okay.
and they've got some chapters all around the country, and they were aligned with what we were wanting to do, and so we jumped on that with them and created our own chapter here in Alabama, and just kind of took off with
Wow.
started small, just some little educational moments, just some events here and there, just trying to share some information. But what happened is that really quickly people started showing up. They were showing up and they were asking for help. They were asking us
Wow.
to support them in various areas that they found themselves in. Different groups of people showed up, and even we were probably as prepared as we needed to be. People who had lost loved ones, that was not even really part of our original intention, but they showed up and they were looking for support, and we were in the right place at the right time to be able to do that. So it's just grown from that.
You know what I'm really really impressed about, and Carla, you probably can contest this, is the heart of passion and love. Heart, passion, love that becomes compassion in the moment of the most challenging circumstance. For you, how did you become involved with? And I know we're going to go deeper, but what does that mean to you to be a part of this organization? Not one, one more Alabama or Alabamian, if you really want to get technical.
Yes. Uh, when I was asked to be I was first of all, I was working at a drug treatment facility, and I met one of the members of Not One More Alabama, one of the co-founders, and she asked me to just come and talk. And we had and then Not One More had their first annual end addiction walk,
Okay, okay.
and I spoke at that.
Wow.
And the next thing you know, I was on executive board.
It was that good, huh? It was that's
Yeah.
impactful. So tell us about the mission of this organization, Not One More Alabama.
Yeah, our mission as just kind of a simplified version is just to provide education, support, hope, inspiration to people that are impacted by addiction. And that can be people that are living lives in recovery and finding ways to support them. It can be working with families who have loved ones that maybe are out using substances that are looking for resources. It can be families who have lost loved ones that are looking for connection and looking for help. It can, really anybody that's looking for support, hope, education in the area of addiction. We're there. We're going to show up for them.
So I do want to talk about this, and I know we talked offline, folks. We talked about the quote that your organization. I was just so moved. I think that was for me. That was when you shared the quote. I was like, yeah, this organization has got to be on the show. And then when I talked to the guys on the No More Dirty Radio show, they were like, dude, let's make it happen. And it went from one show to a second show. The dialogue was amazing. So, but what I'd like for you to do is look right in that camera and talk to them about share that quote. And then let's talk about that. And then we're going to get into a music video. I don't want to get too long, but it's
Yeah.
just heavy.
Yeah, so this quote that I'm about to say is we can't take credit for it, and in all honesty, I don't really even know where it came from. I haven't seen a name attached to it,
Okay.
but it means a lot to us, and I feel like it does kind of encapsulate who we are as an organization. And it's simply that recovery is not about bad people getting good, but it's about good people getting well.
Ooh, wait. It's about good people getting well.
Well, yeah.
Not about bad people becoming good.
No, we're big believers in getting rid of the stigma that goes along with addiction and trying to help people understand that just somebody out there using substances is not a bad person. They're a person who is struggling with the disease of a substance use disorder. And so anything that we can do to help them and to help our community understand that this is a person that needs help, support, love, connection, resources, not a person that needs shame thrown on them.
One of the things that I found very interesting when you go, and I want you to share about, just give them the information how to get to the website before we go to the music video. Or I had a chance to peruse the video, the website, and when we come back, we're gonna pull that up on the big screen so they can see that. I love your approach to recovery. The approach is so uniquely different than the traditional problem solving or problem address issue solve or come up with other alternative ways, whether that's other medicines, whether that is tactics and methodologies. But let's talk about your approach, that approach from a perspective of love, but responsibility and accountability. Could you share?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, that's definitely where we come from is that um, first off, we want to show up for families because that's an area that if you can get to the family and you can provide them with the tools that they need so that they can show up for their person that might be struggling from with a place of love, to come from a place of love, and teach them some actual tools and skills of how they can use that love and still support their loved one, but do it in a way that keeps them safe and keeps them um, in a position where they're able to actually keep showing up for that person. So I always say, you know, if you're exhausted, frazzled, worn out, you know, just
Exhausted.
miserable,
Yeah.
exhausted,
Yeah.
how are you going to be able to show up for that person if they pick up the phone and call? Let's say they wake up that day and they just it's their day. They've had this moment of
Right.
clarity and they're ready to do something. They're ready to change their life. Well, they need you to be able to show up healthy and ready to be able to help them come up with solutions and resources and answers. So we really like to work with the families and help them to you know, to be as healthy as they can be and have a chock full toolbox full of tools that they can pull out and use when the occasion presents itself to do. And that's kind of different than the message that's been around for a long time, which was kind of let your loved one hit rock bottom
And
and
then
kind of kick them to the curb and
Right.
let them figure it out.
Yeah.
Not that you don't have to keep yourself safe in the process because you do. And it's an ugly disease and it can be devastating on a family. So you have to be smart, but there's other ways to approach it. And we're big fans of there's lots of different ways for people to get sober. There's lots of different ways for people to live in recovery. But families can play a big part in that. So that's one of the big things we try to do is to use love, use kindness, use science to help
I
people
love that. Science
understand,
and kindness.
you know, how to show up for their loved one while keeping themselves safe at the same time.
So I want to go to this video, and then when we come back,
Mhm.
we're going to talk to Carla. She has an amazing, amazing, not just story, but amazing journey. And I want to talk about it from the perspective of the journey. So let's do this, Professor. Let's go to. Oh wow, this is deep. But I love the simplicity of recovery because a lot of times we see recovery as a very heavy thing when really it doesn't have to be. It's really about the journey. So here we go. We're gonna give you this song by Steve Malcolm. You know, he's an MC, young cat. He's pretty dope. He's lyrically, and he teamed up with Sykstus Real, which is like a alternative Christian rock, postmodern praise band. Now, listen, we were very specific about this show, so I want you to check it out. It's called "It Feels to Be Free." What it feels like to be free. We'll be right back. The session live with our friends here and you. Stay live.
This is how it feels to be free. Since he took the chains off of me. This is joy. This is peace. This is me. Yeah. Singing the song of the redeemed. Laying down everything. Where you are, that's where I'll be. So I sing. This is how it feels to be. I know there's nothing I go through that you already haven't been through. Falling off track, you're who I run to, yeah. World got me shackled, Lord, I need you, yeah, yeah, yeah. From every mountain top, we gon' let freedom ring. Lord, let let your glory rain down on me. Ain't no shame to be felt, ain't no blame to be dealt. Praying for chains to be broken, Lord. This is how it feels to be free. Since you took these chains off of me, this is joy, this is peace, this is me. Singing the song of the redeemed, laying down everything. Where you are is where I'll be, so I'll sing. This is how it feels to be free. The sunset free is free indeed. I in him and he in me. Holy Spirit cover me. Nowadays that's all I need. Lately I've been on my knees. Humble me, prepare a seat. Lord, you are my therapy. I walked off the boat to see it. It's faith. Take my life, I'm not my own. Comfort me when I'm alone. I've been a wreck until you let your glory shine all over me. I'm my own, what's standing me, but you freeing from me. You found the lost and now I know this is how it feels to be free. Since you took these chains off of me, this is joy, this is peace, this is me. Singing the song of the redeemed, laying down everything. Where you are is where I'll be, so I sing. This is how it feels to be free. Let me hear you say, your love eliminates all of my fear. Every doubt I ever had. I couldn't imagine how good it would feel. Hey, but that's how he do it. Hey, your love eliminates all of my fear. Always leaving me complete, Lord. Hey, I couldn't imagine how good it would feel. This is how it feels to be free. Since he took the chains off of me, this is joy, this is peace, this is me. Yeah. Yeah. Singing the song of the redeemed. Let's go. Laying down everything. Where you are is where I'll be. So I sing. Yeah. This is how it feels to be free. Let's go. This is how it feels to be free. This is how it. This is how it. This is how it. Lord, this is how it feels.
No More Dirty TV show, hosted by Minister Fred 2, airing the cleanest and dopest music videos in the industry every Wednesday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the No More Dirty Inc. YouTube channel. We got clean, positive Christian hip-hop and urban music for your viewing and listening pleasure. We also have music video exclusives, interviews, ciphers, life lessons, and more. Make sure to follow us at Minister Fred 2, at No More Dirty Inc., and at No More Dirty Radio Show. For more information, email us at info@nomoredirty.org or call 256-698-9749. The No More Dirty TV Show. Connect with us. Tune in.
Ooh. Okay, all right, ladies. Okay, Patty, what did you think about that combination?
I just loved it. I thought it was great. I just, we're better together. It was
Oh my
good.
God.
It was good.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. You're tuned into the session live. When it's my special guest, we got Patty's Sykstus, right?
Sykstus, you got it.
Sykstus, I got it.
Yeah.
And we also have Carla Bugg with 2 G's, right?
Yes.
So listen, let me do this real quick because we want to share what we have that we do so folk can know what's going on. So this is what we do throughout the weekend and a few days during the week. Here at the YouTube channel, No More Dirty Inc., we on Friday evenings and Wednesday nights, shout out to my man Professor, we do the No More Dirty TV show. It's a music video show primarily. We feature artists that are doing positive things, that are doing, they're game changers in the music industry. So If you're an artist, if you love music videos, if you love messaging through media, you would love this show. So it's every Wednesday night, Friday night, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can check it out on all the platforms: LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, the whole nine, but primarily our YouTube channel. Then on Saturdays, you get what we get here. You got the session live. Now let me introduce you to my partner. There it is, right there. Always he's a laid back dude, but he's a rocket scientist and a physicist, but for real, for real. And then he comes out here and just does this to hangs out with me. I feel privileged. No, that's every Saturday. Every Saturday, 2 p.m. Or you can get it if you're on travel on Monday evening, 7:30 p.m. And then after that, you can just pull up the link and it's forever. And this is also going to be embed. You'll have this on your website as well at notonemorealabama.org. All right. And then on Sundays, we want to make sure we keep this thing alive and well. So we have the No More Dirty radio show. Now, in the local region, in this whole Alabama, Tennessee region, you have G93. Shout out to Ed Gaines. So you can get it on the music video show. Now you got radio. So you get it in your ear. You get it as you can visually see it. But it's on Sunday afternoons at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then we rock out with We Up 103.1. We're there at 6 p.m. So we're there at 6 p.m. And we kicking on there. And we're on the mainstream side, not the church side. We on the main. We go inject the whole mainstream. Like you gonna get this. You gonna get your life together, baby. We give it to you from 6 to 7 for 1 hour, right? And then we're global. Shout out to ANSI and the entire envision-radio.com. So we're in probably about 5 to 10 countries because of them. So shout out to them. And we're on Monday afternoons at 4, and they have a podcast set up. And then, of course, we have our own podcast. That you can get that Anchor, Spotify, whatever, any platform, and you can just listen to it anytime. So there it is. Pretty much we rocking and rolling. Back to the show. Here we are, Patty. Now, we talked to Patty. Now, Patty, what is your role at the organization? I think we didn't talk about that. And she's just went on in. But I think it's important that they know that about you.
I mean, I guess technically my title is president of the board, but I'm just kind of whatever needs to get done, Fred.
Right now, are you the co-founder as well?
I'm the co-founder. I am.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, with my good friend Shannon. Shannon
Okay.
and I have been buddies for a long time, and we just kind of made this happen.
Well, shout out to you and Shannon for being inspired, though it was family that spiked this amazing journey. And so, as this journey continued, then you ran into this young lady.
I did.
Oh my goodness! So we got to talk about this journey, and I got some dope videos just for you because when I got the feedback and the 411, and then they start dialing it back and start peeling the onion back, I was like, oh, nah, this right here, I can relate. All right, so here it is. So let's talk about your journey. Carla, let's talk. Real talk, and of course, this is the time when, a lot of times you hear all the facts and figures, but this is a walking miracle. This is literally a living example of not one more Alabama. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Share that. Why don't you share your journey?
Okay, so my journey started as I spoke about earlier, being a cheerleader in high school and being popular. I had an empty spot though. I
Yeah.
had a hole in my soul, and I wanted attention. I wanted approval. I wanted,
Yeah.
but I wasn't getting it at home. I had a 2-parent home, but I wasn't getting it at home. Come from a large family,
Okay.
10 children. Okay,
Wow.
and so I sought approval, attention in the world. And long story short, my life spiraled into substance use.
Wow.
Um, and not just substance use, but substance use as a result of military sexual trauma,
Wow.
among other things. And I'm a U.S. veteran as well.
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome. And so I found myself after high school. I joined the military for 6 years. Couldn't keep up because my addiction got worse and worse as a result of the military sexual trauma.
Okay, gotcha.
And as you know, once you get into the life of addiction, then here comes the criminal side. So I found myself, I landed myself with 15-year sentences.
Three?
3 15-year sentences.
Okay.
but I was blessed that they ran them concurrent instead of consecutive. So that made it one 15-year sentence in the state of Alabama prison for women. While in prison for women in the state of Alabama, about a year in, 11 months in, I was indicted by the federal government on a drug conspiracy charge.
Oh, wow. So that's a federal.
So that's a federal case. So I went to federal court. I went on a federal writ, what they call a writ. That just means that you go out to court.
Right.
And I came back to the state of Alabama prison with a fresh 27-year sentence with the federal government.
Wow.
Now that's 85% of the time that you have to do. So when I came back, I just knew I was going to go ahead and start on my federal sentence.
Okay.
That's not the case.
Hmm.
Alabama wanted 4 years, so I had to do 4 years in Tutwiler. And after that, parole from state to federal. After doing a total of 20 years in prison, I landed. I'm from Gadsden,
Okay.
Alabama,
Okay. Got
but I didn't go back there because I had been instructed by God, and I prayed a lot while I was in prison. I studied the Word of God a lot, and I knew that I had prayed that God would find me a position on purpose and in purpose. I didn't just want to come out and find a job.
Right. You know, let me stop. Put a pin right there. We're gonna come. We're not done. We're not done, folks. I love that on purpose and in purpose. Let's talk about that because I think one of the things from the perspective of addiction and recovery, if you don't know the purpose, if you don't have a purpose, then it's very difficult to live by a purpose. And then you said in purpose. Let's talk about the in, and then we'll go back to your story, if you don't mind. For
In
you, what did it mean to in purpose? Because somebody's like, well, I need to live my purpose, but they don't know how to live in it. So what was that for you?
To live in my purpose, first of all, meant to embrace the struggle,
Okay.
to embrace the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay. So to live in my purpose, in order for me to live in my purpose, I had to go through some things that were very uncomfortable,
Mm.
very humiliating, very humbling. And so while going through that experience, I found out what my purpose is. And I always say, when you find your purpose, you find your life.
So I want you to look into that camera, and for those who have never heard this but for the first time, and they're like, how do you do that? Tell them how you did it or what you recommend in this moment for them to consider doing and even encourage to do.
To find their purpose,
Yes.
the thing that you struggle with the most in your life, that's embarrassing, that's humbling, that's probably linked to your purpose.
Wow.
And you have to go through the process in order to get to the other side of the purpose. So, how can you live a life of purpose unless you know what it entails? So, like now, my life, I know exactly what it is, what my purpose is, because I've been through the struggle. My purpose now is to empower people who are veterans, people who are addicted to substances, people who are formerly or justice involved, people who are unhoused. All of these were me.
Wow. Okay. So now, and the reason I wanted to put it just you to share that is because this show video is it's all over the place. And people will be sharing this link and they'll be sharing about not one more alabama.org. And I want them to be I want it to be very clear that at the end of the day, you can do life and life can be lifing and you can still live and thrive in the space of recovery. So let's get to the turning point. So you now have spiraled, you've gone through all of this. You got 27 on books, you've done 20. What happened? Where's the comeback?
The comeback was when I was released. Well, I knew that if it took me 20 years to get to, because my prayer was before I went to prison, my prayer was always, God, Get me to be the woman that you called me to be. Do it however you want to do it and take however long you need to take. Not
Wow.
knowing it was going to take 20 years.
Wow. Wow.
Just as long as I can do it for you,
Mm.
I'll be all right. And so when I landed like Jonah on the on dry land, when I was spit out of the belly of the beast, um, instead of me trying to find a job that would pay me the most money, all I wanted to do, and I said this a lot when I was in prison, if I can't be a mover and a shaker
Come on.
for my purpose, then I might as well stay in here.
Wow. Wow. That's heavy. Most people just want to be free. They want to get out.
Mm.
They like, listen, I just want to get out. Go
Ooh,
ahead. Yes,
I
ma'am.
got
Yes,
something to
ma'am.
say about that.
And talk to the camera. I'll let you
Okay,
talk to the
so
people.
I hear him saying most people just want to get out and be free. I just left a convention last week in Puerto Rico where it's we call it the Butterfly Convention, where women from all over the world get together that did time in federal prison, and we
Wow.
celebrate our lives
Come
now.
on. Come on.
And I shared the word of God this past weekend with the women. One of the things that I said was when we were incarcerated, we always said the scripture in the Bible where Moses talks about when he went to the Pharaoh to let my people go. But we forget the end of that scripture, which said, so that they may worship thee. Worship thee means it's not going to church, it's your lifestyle. It's how you're going to live now. How are you going to present yourself now? How are you going to work now? That's a form of worship. And so now
Wow.
that I'm out, it's so easy for me to walk in my purpose because it's walking a life of worship.
Okay, so listen, I gotta go. Listen, Professor, we're gonna hit a pause real. We coming back to finish it, but I want you to pull up Dante, man. Hog Mob is a group of guys that have a serious past, and they have a song called "Keeping It 100." 100, literally. So here it is, Professor. Let's cue this up, and then we come back. We're gonna do the wrap up. But I just want people to understand the magnitude of this organization. Not One More Alabama. This is not your typical. And you all know me. If anybody sitting in these seats or that we streaming them, they all over the country, the world, they doing something that we got to have. So here it is, Hog Mog featuring Dante, and it's 100. We'll be right back with Patty and Carla. Thank you for tuning in. Stay locked.
Let's go. Living my life. I'ma always keep it 100. I'ma always keep it 100. I know, he know, you know. Living my life. I'ma always keep it 100. I'ma always keep it 100. There was a time when I was high drunk, no spirit, no sober. Used to go Planet of the Apes, no Cobra, no Ola. Raw coke, no cola. 100 bands in my bare hands, no polar. I keep it 100, bro. Used to be a wanted man, now I got a wanted flow. Keys to success go to whoever wanted more. They say can't tell me the truth, they don't really want it though. Catch me at a church with 100 folks, hog mob deep, rolling like 100 spokes. Used to flip packs, run it up like a number hole. Used to make the pot hot and chill like a summer cold. Now I push the rock like I'm running dope. I hit up the Lord, my connect when I'm running low. Gotta pray to my God above for the running souls. Gotta stay on my daily walk to give the youngest hope. Living my life. I'ma always keep it 100. I'ma always keep it 100. I know, he know, you know. Living my life, I'ma always keep it 100. I'ma always keep it 100. There was a time when all I did was sell pure coke, no filler. Black strap with a silverback, gorilla, no spiller. Big fofo killer, faux skrilla, full-time dope dealer. Yeah, I kept it 100, bruh. Crippin', it was going down. Flipping, I was coming up. Drove past the workers in the trap where they run it up. Hit they big homie with the pack, then I sum it up. Saw my light flash like my numbers up. Then the Holy Spirit banged my line like you dumb or what? God been looking at you whole time and the sun is up. Don't be standing on the other side when he's running up. So I stopped the hate I had coming up. Put the work down, dropping weight like a summer gut. Gotta pray. I see all the signs and don't wonder what. Gotta pray for those with hit records like a summer cut. Living my life, I'ma always keep it 100. I'ma always keep it 100. I know, he know, you know. Living my life, I'ma always keep it 100. I'ma always keep it 100. I know, he know, you know. You know, you know, you know.
Yeah. He know, I know, he know 100. Welcome back. Woo! What do you think?
I love that.
And
Love
and
that.
and listen, that was in a facility.
Yes.
This is not. This ain't make believe, folks. What they do at not one more Alabama, and we're gonna talk about some of the affiliations that you do. This stuff works. It works, and that's why I'm gonna just keep it 100. At No More Dirty, we go hardcore, just like you all do. Boots on the ground. We
Yes.
don't have to be the big names, the big this, but you know what? The moves and the movers and shakers are always on the bottom, and they level up.
Yes.
So we go from the bottom to the top versus people top to the bottom. Nah, we trying to stay here. Now, the turnaround. So here it is, and that's why I wanted to play that song because your testimony, your life is 100.
Mhm.
So now that what was the turnaround and what's next for you now in your affiliations for recovery? Talk to the folks.
The turnaround was when I started working in the substance use field. Um, it just took off. You know, my story got out. I started going on television and radio and podcasts and the word just got out. And so now I believe that everywhere that I go, I'm being interviewed.
You interviewed me on this show too, both of y'all.
Everywhere that I
Fact.
go, I'm being interviewed and just keeping it 100. When I was looking at him on that video, I thought about my life because I just got back today from doing a ministry. I go out and do a ministry on the street corner on the same streets where I used to use and sell
Wow.
drugs. I go
Wow.
back twice a month.
100. He know. He
Yes.
know 100.
Yes.
Woo!
And so that's what my life is all about now. It's just all about helping others who are struggling with life issues.
So let me ask this, and I want to finale with the programs and what's coming next.
Okay.
So now that you're in a much better place, in a mental successful place in terms of what keeps you successful because recovery is ongoing. Because there are people saying, "Man, well, I'm good. I hadn't done this in 3 months, 3 years, blah blah blah." But the reality is, when you have encountered these things in lifing will come back and get you if you're not
Yes.
careful. So, a few things that you would want to share, and you can share that too, and then we'll move into some of the programs I would like you to share. All
What
right,
keeps me in recovery is
come on,
staying grateful
come on.
and
One,
staying humble.
two, grateful and humble. I love that.
Staying grateful and staying humble and just remembering that I'm just one use away.
Woo.
One use away. I love this life now. because I just love it.
And I will dare say, you said being humble and grateful. But I think the other thing too is you're intentional.
Oh,
You're intentional
definitely.
about staying on that path.
Yes.
Because you can say, man, this is a good thing and not walk in the good way.
And sometimes people even tell me, "Hey, you gotta lighten up. You gotta ease up off yourself a little bit," because I think sometimes I have just that little bit of, "Ooh, I can't mess up. I don't want to mess up nothing."
Right. Correct. Oh no, I get it.
And so I have to be careful with that and take it easy on myself because, and I have to remind myself that it's by the grace
Come on.
of God that I am who I am and has nothing to do with my performance. It has nothing to do with my performance. But at the same time, I have to stay intentional,
That's it.
just like you said.
So I want to move right in. Let's talk about some of the programs, the unique programs, and I want you to talk about your group. Okay, so talk right into the camera.
All
I think
right.
that'd be good.
So yeah, so at Not One More Alabama, we've been a small organization. You were just kind of talking about that. We're not the biggest guys out there, but we're trying to get out there and do things that are impactful and have the potential to change people and change lives. And so one of those lanes that we find ourselves in is working with families.
Okay.
And so we have a family support group.
Yes.
It meets every Tuesday at
Okay.
6 o'clock at our office on Bob Wallace. And it's kind of a different kind of support group. There's been Al-Anon and other organizations that have been out
Right.
there for years doing really good work, but we wanted to offer up something a little different. And so what ours is, we call it a solutions-based
Come on.
family support group. So when you come, we're not really just going to sit around and talk about the problem, but we're going to really work on what's the solutions and what can be done. And so that by the time somebody leaves each week, they
Yeah.
leave with some kind of a skill, a tool, food for thought, something that they can take home during that week and put their energy in and put their focus in and try using with their loved one.
Yeah.
So it's a little different than your typical support group because we're doing more than just supporting. The support just comes naturally by sitting around a table with a bunch of people with a shared experience. You're
Yes.
gonna build support, you're gonna build rapport, you're gonna build, but we want them to leave with a tool, with a skill. So that's where we a little bit different that way.
Now, the one thing too, if you could share, and then Professor has it up on the screen, the location.
Mhm.
If you want to scroll back down a tad bit, could you tell them where you're located and your partnership with the car dealership that has opened up
Yeah.
an opportunity, and shout out to them.
Yeah. Big shout out to the Damson family.
Yes.
They have been incredibly supportive
Yes.
of Not One More Alabama. And they have given us, we've actually been gifted by them a building that we're going to be
Yes.
turning into a recovery community center,
Yes.
which is just going to be an incredible opportunity for us to serve multiple populations of people that are impacted by addiction. But in the meantime, while we're building up the funding and everything else that has to be done to make that come to reality, that we've been given this space across the street from it. It's in the Shottkirk Honda building, which used to be the Damson Honda
Right, used to be
building,
Damson, right.
and it's their service building. But the left-hand side of the building or the west side of the building is used by Shottkirk Honda. The right-hand side or the east side is used by us, and we have like a little section on that side
Yeah.
with some signage on it. And that's where we're presently located, and it's right there on Bob Wallace, right across from Artie Street, the old
Mhm.
Monarch
Right.
bowling alley. We're just right across the street from that. So
So why don't you give them the website, and
Mhm.
I'm going to ask Professor to queue up. We're going to go to one more video before we do the wrap up because we need to talk about what's next.
Yeah.
What we want people to be engaged in going forward. That's why it's so important. So if you would give them your website, and then Professor's going to take us into an amazing song by Camp 8 Republic. That's my good homie from the legendary Gospel Gangsters, Chili Baby, featuring Canton Jones. And if anybody knows Canton Jones, he's one of the pioneers in the urban gospel or R&B gospel. And they have a song called, I love this one, Do for Love. What would you do for love? They flipped it in a way of recovery. So here it is. We'll be right back. Shout out to man and big ups to my man, Professor X, man. Make sure you throw the picture up, brother, so they can see you. They see me all the time, but I want to see us. All right. We'll be right back. There it is. NotOneMoreAlabama.org is on the screen. And this song is for those that are looking for love but hadn't quite got it. Because you know what? It's what you do for Christ and for love that will last. Shout out to my man, Professor X. Here you go. Enjoy the joint. Yep.
What you won't do for love. You tried everything and not enough. What you won't do for love. You just look above because God is love. Let me introduce you to a love that'll never fail. In any difficult situation will never bail. I got Jehovah on my team and I will never trail. Sending demons back to hell and I never have to yell. You see, I know my God, he see you when you cry at night. But if you call him, he gon' make everything alright. See, I used to be a soldier and battling was right for me. But I'm a son now, angels gon' fight for me. And I'll do what you tell me to do. Tell me to do. Go where you tell me to go. Tell me to go. And I'll let nothing separate me from your love. Do what you tell me to do. Tell me to do. Go where you tell me to go. Tell me to go. And I'll let nothing separate me. What you won't do for love. You tried everything and it's not enough. What you won't do for love. You just look above because God is love. Confused the lust for love and embraced the block. Felt the hate of return, so turned and gave it to Yah. Now the bond is unbreakable. Like the psalmist in 16:8, I experienced a peace unshakable. Now warrior for the most high bodies of living sacrifice. Pray my change is acceptable to the one who saved us through Christ. Love ain't just a heartfelt verb. Only death can separate you from it when aligned with the word. What you won't do for love. You tried everything and it's not enough. What you won't do for love. You just look above because God is love. Gospel gangsters, we arose from the gutter, never came soft. I gave my life to Christ and the others, they ran off. Was on the block, tipsy-turvy, sipping the bourbon. Found it was a heaven for G's, glad never see heard me. Love conquers all. Confess and tell me where your sins go. Back to hell, now bring your blessings tenfold. I don't do it for stripes, I do it for Christ. Shitty baby, campaign, yapper, we do it for life. What you won't do for love. You tried everything and it's not enough. What you won't do for love. You just look above because God is love. And I'll do what you tell me to do. Tell me to do. Go where you tell me to go. Tell me to go. And I'll let nothing separate me from your love. Do what you tell me to do. Tell me to do. Go where you tell me to go. Tell me to go. And I'll let nothing separate me from your love.
Go where you want me to go. Shout out to my man, the legendary Chili Baby. You already know all the whole crew, the campaign, and of course the legendary Canton Jones. Again, we are here. I'm your host, Frederick Whitlow, Minister Fred 2, No More Dirty, in the building, my man, Professor X. We are here with Carla, Bugg and Patty Sykstus. I got it. I'm telling you, we in there now. We fan for life, baby. So listen, we want to close like this. Again, I want you to give them the quote that I love that quote about rejection, and then let's talk about the finale. That's the major event that's coming up, the 17th of this month, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Big Spring Park West. Go ahead. Your quote again. You got to give it to them. Just another encouraging. That's a moment.
The quote is, rejection is God's direction and your protection.
So when y'all going through and you tripping, life is lifing, and it's acting like you want to reject you, bet that. So you can reject me, but I got some protection and I'm about to get the next move, because there's always a next level. There's always another dimension. And so don't let anything stop you. I love that. And you know, I'm going to have to use that.
You can use
I
that.
might ask you for permission, because I might drop that in a lyric.
Okay.
That is, ooh, that's cold. All right. So let's finale with your event that we all need to be at. And listen, I'm saying we're gonna be in the building. We in this thing. We family forever now. I'm just telling you. So let's talk about the event. What is the name of the event, the time, date, location, and how they can become engaged and involved?
All
Talk to the
right.
folks.
Okay. So this is our big signature event of the year. This will be our 7th year that we've done this. Only
Whoa.
1 year we couldn't during COVID.
Yeah,
Every other
COVID.
year we've done it, and it's down at Big Spring Park, August 17th. It's our End Addiction Huntsville Walk.
Yeah.
The walk is only a little piece of it, though. There's a lot more to it than that. So we'll have music. We'll have um, ways to celebrate people that you love that are in recovery, and ways to be able to remember people that have been lost. It's a chance for people to just come together. We'll have over 40 different resource organizations
Yeah.
there. So if somebody's got a family member that's struggling, or maybe they're struggling themselves, and they just don't know where they're supposed to turn, they don't know what's out there, they can come and talk to all sorts of people from all sorts of different organizations that'll be able to give them some direction and help. We've got Haley Baker from WAFF
Yeah.
is going to be our keynote speaker, kind of our ambassador for the day, and just
Wow.
help us to spread the news of how important it is to talk publicly, and just put recovery out there, and be willing to share that story. So we do one of the things that's most powerful, and Carla has been here for every one of these and helps us to lead it, is what we call our Circle of Hope. Just an amazing something to witness if you haven't
Yeah.
ever witnessed something like this, where we ask everybody that's in recovery to come on up, and we start with somebody who's got 30 years or more, and we ask them to come on up. We give them a coin, and they stand there, and then we say anybody with 25 years or more, and a
Wow.
couple more people show up, and we give them a coin, and they hold hands with that first person, and we continue doing that all the way down to 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, 5 years, a year, and the circle starts growing and building. That picture that's on there right now is a picture of our Circle of Hope, and the circle starts building, and we go down to 24 hours, and you'll get
Wow.
somebody to join the circle
That's
who's
great.
been hanging on for 24 hours, and they get their coin, and they get to be loved by everybody in this circle,
Yes.
and cheered for and celebrated. And it's a really, really powerful moment. So Circle of Hope's one of my favorite parts of the
Yeah.
day. But the whole thing, and then we walk around the park and celebrate all those people, and remember those people that have been lost, and it just gives everybody a chance for a place to come together, connect,
Yeah.
and connect with resources, connect with people, and just spend some time. And just that picture on that website says, they've got the tattoos that say grateful, and I think that's the biggest thing. It's just a day
Yeah.
of gratitude, a
Yeah.
day of being able to just remember how grateful we are that we get
We're
to be
going to
there
be
and do
selling
it.
T-shirts too.
And
We
yeah, I
are
was gonna
selling
say, yeah.
T-shirts. Yes,
And
we are.
let me chime in here. You guys know that whenever we have our guests and they're doing amazing work, um, I say this when we're touring or presenting, you know, the message is free, but it costs to keep that message going alive.
Does.
And it costs to keep it thriving. So they will have a T-shirt that says "End Addiction Huntsville," and I want you to make sure you take the time. And the T-shirts are, how much are they going to be?
T-shirts are $20,
So
and
so here it is. We're giving you the 411 ahead of time. So when you pull up and you become a part of this amazing walk that doesn't really impact you other than you being engaged in some change, bring that $20 spot. Bring that $20 and have everybody get, so we can all look the same. We can get suited and booted for this effort. And because I think that's it. You know, when you see, and I work in intervention and gang intervention, some other things. When you see the Crips, they all blued up. When you say the blood, they all red up. When you see the folks, disciples, they got the black and the silver. They got their colors. So when we pull up, we pulling up. We taking over Big Spring Park West, 200 Church Street. We pulling up, we taking over. And all these other organizations, they're going to be there to support. And our job is to support. And when we begin to support, we begin to see success, good success, Joshua 1, 6 through 9. And we see transformed lives, whether it's 1 hour, like you said, 24 hours to 50 years of recovery, because it's always ongoing, just like success and just like life is. So I just want to say thank you for all that you do, you and your partner, your co-founder Sharon. I want to say thank you, Carla, and to the entire team. And I got to stop and I got to say shout out to Kim, your executive director, Kim Hauser, who I've known in different capacities. Now she's executive director, and Kim Holder. Oh, she's just amazing, and she's that youth and family person that makes sure that she rallies the family work and the family dynamic to your whole entire team. This is great.
We got an amazing group of people. We have 20 some odd people that have been serving on our board, and it's a working board. This is a
Yes,
typical
indeed.
board. They've
Yeah.
got their hands dirty, and so yeah, we're so grateful for every one of them and for all the work that they're doing.
And I do want to we're going to finale with showing your video so that you can see what this end addiction Huntsville walk looks like going forward. I'm going to pray for you guys because I think that's important. I think it's appropriate. I also want to let you all know that we have our festival this year, our 4th annual, and not one more Alabama is going to be our official sponsor and organization that deals with addiction recovery. So I'm telling you all now, they're going to have this nice little setup. That's where it's going to be. It's going to be there on the east side. That's the flyer there. But it's going to be on the east side on October 6th from 2:30 to 8. It's going to be amazing artists, amazing organization. Everybody that's a part of this, including you all, are doing phenomenal work. So I just want to make sure if No More Dirty is all in, we need you to be all in. All right. So let me pray real quick, if that's okay. Shout out again to my professor, my dude. God, we just want to say thank you for not one more Alabama, this organization, Lord. We thank you for the representation here, the entire team. Thank you for the good and the great work that they're doing. We pray a special blessing in every aspect of their work, whether it's initiatives, the upcoming event on the 17th, where we'll be downtown, taking over downtown to end addiction in Huntsville, this walk in the Madison County area. And then, God, I pray that you'll be with the co-founders. I pray that you would also be with the staff. I pray that you would be with those residents, family members, and clients, and those sponsors. Thank you for the Damson family and all those that will now even continue to support. They have a building, God, and they have people. Now that we're asking that you will give them the funding so that they can walk into this no more. I mean, I'm telling you, when people walk into this facility and they'll be able to enjoy the beauty of recovery, the consistency of recovery. And so, Lord, I ask a special blessing of financial gifting and blessing. We say hallelujah to your name. We thank you in advance in the name of he who makes all things well, who is Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach. Amen. All right, so we're gonna take you out. Let's take them out with your video.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll throw another video. Let's see what else we want to put on there so they can have some good funds and some great sound. Let's do Professor. Let's do the end addiction video that you all have your official one, and then let's get Anika, who used to be AKA Wande from Reach Records with Lecrae. She has a song "Walk in the Light." You get up out that addiction. Let's walk in the light. We will see you next time. You already know this is it. Don't forget the website. Toss it up, and we will see you. Not one more Alabama.org. Peace, peace. Hey, listen, we had a special announcement that's going to happen on August 17th. And I think it's very important. And then we'll go to this video, but we were just chopping them like, we can't get out the show without it. So what we got, Patty? What are you going to bless people with?
We got one more thing that we want to make sure everybody knew is that if they come down to the walk, we have 250 boxes of Narcan ready to give out to anybody that needs it or wants it. Narcan's the life-saving opioid reversal medication.
That's right.
And we're able to give those out to people. Anybody that has any reason to have that on them, around them, with them. Just amazing medication that can change lives, save lives. And so we want to make sure that gets out into people's hands. So come on down and spend some time with us. And while you're there, come get your Narcan.
And be a blessing by sharing it, because we all know somebody who's struggling, especially with these pills and opioids and you name it, fentanyl. I mean, it's killing our kids, it's killing us. So if you know somebody who's got issues, say, hey man, come on down here, man. We're gonna do this walk on Saturday the 17th, man. Come on, it's just gonna be 9, 11 o'clock anyway, dude. Sis, get the kids out the bed. Let's make that happen. And because at the end of the day, a family that's healthy is a family that's going to be solid. All right, so there it is. Enjoy this video. We'll be right back. We won't be back. Will you enjoy yourself? Peace and end addiction, HSV.
All up in my mind, I ain't talking about amphetamines. Most high, lift them up like a legacy. Devil trying to infiltrate the mind with the lesser thing. I became a better me when I gave up the scene. Hold up, better me came when I gave it all to him. Child of God, my look cannot be stopped. Defeating the odds, I'll never fail. May His goodness go before you. All around you, let Him guide you. And you'll come and let you go. He is for you, yeah. He is for you, yeah. Like keep up the pace. I be the one with all that grace. Holy Ghost glow, we serve them praise. Look in the mirror like when I'm blessed. Just like them street lights up in the late night, I choose to shine the path He set for me. He stayed by my side, helped me to see life. I can't deny it. Inside I came alive. So even when it all fades, I'ma follow your way. even one of my days, yeah. I pray you dwell in this presence, cause nothing really better. Know if you built on the rock, you last through any weather. No summer plot on my fall, like caught him by surprise. You know your girl is a winner, I spring it to the light. Walk in the light, keep up the prayers. I beat the one with all that prayers. Holy Ghost glow, thanks God. Look in the mirror like, yeah, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Man.